Hello, everybody. I am not Groot.
Yeah, might as well.
Not Groot. Groot, the guy from the movie with the minions. Hi, this is Brent. I am by myself today, and we'll watch some Magic the Gathering. We have Kyle Falkner with calls it Dead Girl Ale, and Andrew Loutsch. Should really learn these people's names. Playing Red Dead Net deck. So he has circled 4 colors, black, blue, green, and white. So I have no idea what's going on. I kind of did a little peek of Kyle's deck, and it's basically black, white, good cards with a couple added spices. The name is taken from, there's a legacy deck called Dead Guy Ale, or Dead Man Ale, something like that, where it's basically black, white, good stuff. And not sure what Andrew is doing, but he has a bunch of cards.
Let's actually get Baleful Strix into Modern. That'd make my day. I don't know, man. Play that in Word. I'm playing that in Word. That would also be insane because I'd probably actually just go to like Krupp.
Alright, so see, Lightning Bolt, Manamorphose. Okay, Kyle showed me that he had main deck Leyline of the Void. I think it's a one of, but he's able to get it this game. And I think main deck, something like that, is pretty good right now because there's not a. I mean, there's a lot of decks that really like the graveyard right now, and if you don't care about your graveyard, well, I guess it doesn't matter with this one, but you know, having a main deck graveyard hate in this meta right now is kind of what you're looking for. We don't want to do too heavy on that and just lose. So we got Inquisition of Kozilek. So yeah, we got Lightning Bolt, Manamorphose. We got he has main deck graveyard hate too with the not extirpate. Well, hello there, Mr. Kyle. Glad to see you back. Glad to see our faithful viewer. Looks like he takes the Thought Scour out of Andrew's hand. I've been doing, Kyle. Did you have a good week? We weren't here last week. I apologize. But it's just me today, but I'm here. Going to be talking a lot of nonsense because that's usually what I do. Andrew's just going to go Lightning Bolt to Kyle's face. Bzz, bzz. You know what happens to a person when it gets hit with a lightning bolt? Same thing with everything else. That's all. We did reach over 100 subscribers on YouTube. That is pretty exciting. And Hell's Face, yep. A lot of snow, I hear you. Tomorrow, well, they were supposed to be, I just heard that we're supposed to have regionals in Minnesota. It's about an hour drive from here. They actually canceled it because we're going to get a bunch of snow tomorrow and Sunday. Last I heard it was up to 12 inches, but could be more, I don't know. I just know lots of snow and I'm getting rather tired of it. So Kyle with his third hand plays a Liliana of the Veil. discards a land and that. Oh. He saw a shadow. I saw a thing on like on Facebook of like police are now looking for a suspect, a groundhog, caught for lying. That's very, very true. I keep saying to people pretty soon, we're going to be complaining about the heat, but gosh darn, I'm looking forward to that time because this snow. I don't have much of a driveway. I just have this little parking spot for 2 cars. And I have 2 cars. One of them doesn't work. And so right now, you can't even see it because I've just piled all the snow on it and it just looks like a giant snowbank. And my walkway, my driveway is enough for me to back in, enough room for me to open the door. Then I have a small pathway to my door. That's because I've ran out of room to push any of that dumb snow, and now I gotta figure out where to put more of it. So yay. Well, Kyle has a Dark Confidant, and I believe Andrew has, and I think it's called like it starts with a P, but like Pterodon or something. Ooh, Kyle showed me that. That is a Kaya. Let's see if I can find that one. Yeah. So don't know if he's gonna play it here. What? That's not the card. Checks Dark Confidant. Andrew down to 14. Plays another Dark Confidant. Oh good, it doesn't fit the screen. Oh, you can see what most of her does. Is she +1 exiles 2 creatures from a graveyard? Or 2 targets from a graveyard. You get 2 life. If at least one of them was a creature. You can exile a non-land permanent with mana cost 1 or less. Which there's a lot of those running around lately. And then her ultimate is -5. She deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards and exile, and you gain that much life. Okay. That's pretty interesting with the Leyline of the Void. Everything Andrew owns is an exile right now. So if we can get that out and, plus her a couple times and be able to do probably lethal damage right now. Right, I was going to look up the other card because I am a silly meaner. I believe these cards are be the death of me. Might have to look for a new source of magic gather. Anyways, yeah, Pteramander. He has 1 mana. He's a 1/1 flyer. You can't see his power and toughness, but he is a 1/1 flyer, and you can adapt 4 for 8 mana. But it costs 1 less for each instant sorcery in your graveyard. So the whole goal is Andrew has the lightning bolts. He has the Manamorphose. It's supposed to be pretty much a 2 mana for a 5/5. But with Leyline of the Void, just it's not the best matchup, but like even right there, it's like, well, it was always just going to be 1 mana 1/1, unless it got to the point where he had 8 mana, but he would never be able to pay it for the mana reduction. Oh, Bob reveals a land. Oh, Kyle's down to 2. If he plays that Kaya, although I don't think Kyle has any... I don't believe Kyle has any creatures in his graveyard right now. So the Kaya won't even give him any life. See a Liliana in his hand? He might have to Liliana his own Bob.
Yes, sir.
No?
False turn.
I also saw a Fatal Push. He might Fatal Push one and just hope he doesn't die.
Yep. Your turn. Alright, Pops. Let's do it.
Let's see. No, he's not going to Fatal Push. He's going to go for broke.
Wow.
Down to 1. And he gets it at 1 life. Bob. Dark Confidant's never that nice to me. Come on. Sir Andrew takes game 1
Okay.
off of not dying to Dark Confidant.
And then I had that got shot in hand too, and you didn't go down to 1.
So, on the subject of Modern, this was revealed a couple weeks ago now, I guess, or maybe last week. The new Modern-only set, I guess would be Legacy as well, but not Standard Legal set. It's not a Modern Masters. It's similar, but they're actually going to have Modern Legal cards that's never been printed before for Modern, or have never been printed at all. And, fortunately, I won't be able to look it up, but the 2 cards that they showed was the Planeswalker. I actually think is pretty good. It's 4 mana. It can give your creatures like flying and attacking, or like her -3s, put a 4/4 angel into play, and then her ultimate, which you can actually ultimate her the next turn, is pretty much worship. If you control a creature, all damage something 1 doesn't happen, something. If you're watching this, you know what worship does. And she seems pretty powerful in a white-based creature deck. Being able to, like, either right away just put a 4/4 into play and you still have Planeswalker around, or next turn, like I said, has another worship effect. And then there's the
It is a free spell.
oh shoot! Now when I remember the name, we'll come back to it. So oh, then it looks like they're almost done shuffling.
Play a Noxious, a Surgical Ender. Got shot. Just for like
So yeah, looks like Andrew Jack is mostly the. Actually, probably is nearly all of the Phoenix deck. So we saw he had the Phoenix, he had the Pterodactyls. A lot of people I noticed are not even running those still. They're still running Thing in the Ice. Which kind of makes sense, because Thing in the Ice is a pseudo removal card in and of itself.
Depends. Does the punish require me to get lucky? Because that hasn't been the turn so far with this deck.
Hey, they're 2 just entirely different cards, so it's really hard to compare one to the other.
But that's always the case. Took 1 discard to Simeon with the swamp. Something Manamorphous for 2 black. Inquisitions me twice. Oh. That's things.
Look, I'm not saying I wouldn't play Seeing Spirit Guides and Metamorphosis and 2 discard spells, but I might be happy soon.
That would be spicy, actually. I'll try this. Let's try. Keep that on top.
Turn 0.
Nice.
Looks like they're keeping. Andrew revealing some of his hand.
Ow.
Kyle again with the ley line. That must be really, really just annoying for Andrew. His deck, again, while not being a graveyard deck, definitely relies on the graveyard a lot, and definitely shows where something like Thing in the Ice is better than the Pterodactyl. Terramorphosis. Terraman. Yeah, let's look at the name. What is it called? Terramander, because it's a salamander. You know, like a Pokemon.
Pulse Scour, but that's gonna work. Yep.
Alright, end of your turn, I'm gonna fetch for an island and Thought Scour myself.
Yep.
Andrew is going to Thought Scour himself.
Turn 0 again.
Draws. I believe he just drew another land. I believe he drew just another land.
Scour myself again.
He's going to Thought Scour himself again. I believe he drew a...
Oh, the scoop. 4 lands in hand.
That is.
Noxious Revival that does nothing now.
Maybe he didn't draw a land. I thought it was a land, but he must not have drawn the second land and just decided to call that a game, I guess. Which is kind of sad. Huh. Well, hello. Well, hello. I am Brent. Not Groot. Ah, you know what? You can see behind me. Who cares? So how's it going, everyone? That was a very quick game. See if I can get another one switched over. Because I really don't like these long breaks, but sometimes we just got to do that. So I'll try to see if I can get someone over. How's it going, people? Well, hello. We're actually still in round number 1. We have Noah Miller playing humans. It's kind of, I mean, that's the deck that he plays is humans. And we got Gavin Hall playing elves. That's his deck. He plays elves. Now, when I say that, I mean that Gavin Hall plays, that's all he plays is elves. And Noah Miller, that's all he plays is humans. So, yep, I watched a little bit of their game too. And, it was kind of a standstill, but then Gavin was able to play an Azuri. And did the math. Noah Miller had 33 points of defense. And he only had to do, and he was at 2 life. And Gavin did like 35 damage or something, like 37 damage or something like that. So I think usually it goes on the human side a little bit favored, but Gavin was able to just sneak that out with trample damage.
I'm going first. Hey.
Yep, I knew that. I knew that.
Gavin tried to go first, and Noah reminded him, I lost game 2. So Noah with a turn 2 Thalia. Not the best card, though. A 2-1 with first strike against 1-1 Elves is pretty good. Looks like Gavin has the clan collar. Not good by itself, but once he gets some more humans out, it'll be, or more elves out, it'll be pretty good. Although, Noah, Reflecting Mage, back to the hand. So now, Gavin can't even play another one this turn.
Elves. To anyone who wants to see a hand of all hands.
I would say that's really good, but that's not very good.
It isn't, but it's so fun.
Yeah, I think that's one of the
Deputy at attention.
quick. Least within this is game 3. Yeah.
Take one.
Gavin playing
Faster.
Quick, cast for
Burying him for 1.
What?
I wish. Good thing.
Do the same thing.
What is the creature type on Progenitus even?
Isn't it
Vader?
an avatar? It's an avatar.
It's an avatar?
Doesn't really do much, but it's a,
'Cause I was gonna try
well, it's not even a good, can't even block Thalia. It's a 3-2. Thalia is a 2-1 with first strike. Noah Miller with a Reflector Mage.
Collective Company.
That's not very nice.
Didn't really hear what he named. He might have named Clan Collar. He knows, he at least knows that's in his hand.
I don't like that card.
Plays a Values Lieutenant.
I don't know if you want to do that.
Pumping up all his humans.
You always say they don't want to do
Big
it. but they
attack.
always seem to.
6.
So, 12. My turn.
Taking it. Gavin taking it, going down to 12.
Yay. That's a card.
There's a Progenitus coming any moment now. You better watch out.
This isn't Legacy.
Is Progenitus actually played in Legacy?
In Legacy Elves.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, come on,
Right
Gavin,
side
this is
camera, it
fine.
always is giving us troubles. The other one's usually fine, but the one on the right always
Natural.
kind of likes to show neck level.
Come on, Gavin.
Sacrifice a creature, put target green creature from your deck onto the battlefield.
Oh god, that's bad. Wow. Shaman pack.
Oh, another Shaman of the pack. So drain for 2. Well, if that's all he has, he's not looking too good for Gavin.
I don't know if you want to do that.
Alright. Let's get rid of
That
this.
is too much money.
It's less than this.
Seriously?
Oh yeah.
Noah cycling that Horizon Canopy, drew another
$100 regular.
Meddling Mage.
Less than 150.
What? I just got lost in that conversation. Are you being sarcastic?
This card should
Shaman of the pack.
Wait, how much is that?
That's 120. These are 170. These are 60. That's 60.
Again, not sure what he named.
I spend money on this.
Not bad.
Do you have your own magic deck?
Kind of, I'm using his.
There's another attack for 6.
I'm using it tonight.
Gavin just takes it. Not really any good blocks. You'd have to double block either one to kill it. And
Wow, that was modest. You're real modest.
Falkner Mage being a 3/4. Thalia being a 3/2 with first strike.
Oh, you made it legal.
So no good blocks.
That's a good thing.
That's good.
None whatsoever
I don't play legal when I'm playing with others.
for the young elf player.
Most advantage.
Plays
Same.
an
Except I don't know how to
Elvish
play
Archdruid,
so.
which Noah immediately dismembers. Which member?
Oh,
Derp,
lost.
because that's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
This is not the first match.
Well, no, but I mean.
That member. Dismember.
Best of 3, you know what I meant.
I got my first win.
Oh. I won once last time against Connor, so.
Play Thalia?
But that's,
I'm pretty sure Connor's not that word of the target.
Plays a Thalia
he was using burn.
just to
and I
pump
had
up the lieutenant.
You're just using birds?
burn.
Burn. Oh, burn.
He was attacking me with, pigeons.
Oh,
Combat?
From New
well,
York.
there actually is a creature bird.
Yeah, I'm aware. It was a joke.
And yeah, I don't think there's any blocks. I think they're all.
I mean, you blocked 2 and
Oh, Gavin, you lost a lot.
Yeah, the one melee mage is a 3/3. The other melee mage is only a 2/2, but the lieutenant, yeah, it's too much.
I had 2 left.
Yeah.
Noah Miller
Shouldn't have said anything.
beats the elf deck pretty handily, I guess. Oh, poor Gavin just couldn't get the creatures out. So that was round number 1. We'll be back for round number 2 whenever it starts. Thank you for watching. Hello, welcome to round number 2, Friday Night Magic, Modern, Magic the Gathering, Heroes Welcome, in Menominee, Wisconsin. We have Philip Smith playing Abzan Death Shadow against Julian Curtis playing Eldrazi Tron, something we haven't seen in a while. Kind of fell out of favor, I think, but I like the deck. I just like the idea of just having a completely colorless deck as its own color of sorts. Also, Tron is just dumb, so adding Eldrazi to it is just great. So Phil is going to start out with Thoughtseize. Oh, see if I can remember these. Oh, that's Thought Not Seer. Oh boy, I know what they do. It's 3 mana for a 3/2. When it dies, reveal the top card of your library. Put into play if its converted mana costs 3 or less. Otherwise, put into your hand. Looks like he's going to take the Thought Not Seer. Plays an Eldrazi Temple, says go.
No. She's looking down to 5. You decide to keep her.
You can see the little +1/+1. It also does force block, but I don't think that well. Do it.
No, you do not. Describe it.
Plays Noble Hierarch. That's an interesting one.
Stop! It's about.
Yeah. Before you strike.
Back apparition targeting your creature.
That boy tapped.
Just one.
That boy. Really?
I mean, everything feels like a lord.
Do the math.
I'm killing a lord. I
Which
have
one?
to do it. It's all lord. I don't care about the hot cards.
Okay, so this one is just a tiny bit more. So 4. No, 6. Go.
3.
Do something with your life.
Yeah,
Except don't.
Why would you waste
I mean, I have to play this card.
No, you don't.
What does he do? He gets to go to next turn.
Pay 1 life. Sacrifice. Search my library for a swamp or land.
Oh,
Put
I
that card.
see.
Actually, I guess while you're tapped out, I'll just finish and make it easier.
Okay.
Fired.
This does not tap you.
And
Can't go ahead. I don't know if you want to play that land. My turn?
We're gonna attack instead. And then you get
You are lord.
you get quick
Trace.
weapon.
Target player reveals his or her hand.
Swing for 2.
Choose a non-land card from it.
Just take the
Discard
damage.
that
Come on.
card.
There's no quick weapon.
And use 2 life.
And then pass.
I still get this.
Can I see it? So, how many behind it? So, okay,
Over 2.
so like this? Okay.
Marshall.
Yeedon.
Swing 2 flying.
Go to
That boy. Go ahead. Just don't activate to vary, and then I'll kill it. Because that sounds like a plan. I don't know if you should do that. Sounds like a not good thing to do.
Pass.
Is this standard plus? Pass. I don't know if you want to do that.
have to discard a card. It's been a while since I've seen that rewards on turn. Okay, oh, and you lose 5. Okay, yeah.
That's very true.
Play that swamp.
Okay.
Yeah, swamp.
Okay. I'll put it in my hand. Okay. Pass.
No, I'm waiting on you to. Are you done? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Untap. Upkeep. Option. You are selected.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Or reality smash.
4 cards.
Okay.
Move to combat. Swing for 2.
So how do you actually win?
1-1 ballista.
Type of sword goes battlefield. You deal
Double strike.
double strike for the time goes
Just
in.
me out.
As soon as type of rolls are destroyed, the card goes back to the
Okay.
but it goes into a way where I have to roll before I
Okay.
so kill all 4 of those and send your
Okay.
turn.
Technically get infinite cards in deck.
Got it. So
That could have been better.
Player tree.
Cards in hand? 0.
Architects of Wills. Graveyard. Top.
Or, sorry, 2.
I got a land.
Just gonna do this. They're both mine. These are the cards.
I
Yeah.
don't want to compete, but then
Those cards are
it's
nice.
I mean, I just added it. Because after this falls, you're just
Sword.
no.
No blocks.
Now we're going to
13, go to 7.
Sega.
I will continue.
not do anything with my mana and draw.
Yay.
Go scroll.
Okay.
Let's
one
see
hand.
if it gets countered. Wow.
For 4.
Pass turn.
And then back up 20. Pass.
Sorry about that, folks. I had to step out. Oh. It was Phyrexian Unlife with Death Shadow, so it'd be bigger. Wow. So it'd be bigger than a 13/13 when he's at negative life. That's interesting. Remind him of that. Although I'm not sure what life he has right now. I had to step out for a second, so I missed a bunch of this game. But he might be at 2 infect right now, I believe. Thank you, Kyle, for being the smart guy that you are.
Oh wait, that's exactly what you did.
Smarter than I am, for sure. Either way, I don't think it's going to come up this game. Julian being at 7 life, that shadow is definitely big enough to kill him in one swing, so Julian's just going to have to keep finding creatures every turn, it seems. believe he has Tron. So he'll play all his dust. Oh boy. Wait a second. Alright, I guess I came in at the right time. All his dust kills the Phyrexian on life. Phil is obviously at his less than 0 life. So that was game number 1. Ended with all his dust. So I like this Eldrazi Tron deck. I actually played it for quite a while. Really enjoyed it, but definitely I just fell out of favor for different decks. That's, you know, modern. While it doesn't rotate, the decks definitely, you know, rotate from what's good and what's not.
By the way, that's a fog with flying.
Yep. Lawrence? It's time to stop.
It's great, and I can't stop. Oh. This is also
So, looks like this is a very interesting take on Abzan Death Shadow. It has, I believe that's Abzan Charm. That's interesting. Though he's taking him out. But yeah, with the Phyrexian Unlife and a couple other Noble Hierarch. Not what you typically see in an Abzan or in a Death Shadow deck, but not to say it's a bad card. Noble Hierarch is pretty great. Just normally not what Death Shadow plays. That's okay though. What's great about especially a local FNM is you can play whatever you want.
no on the stand. No. He just he paused. He couldn't say anything.
Okay, this seems pretty awesome sauce. Hey, don't outside advice.
I'm not giving him advice. I'm just
Get to
looking
see
at
the
him.
top of Julian's head, which is good because we can't see the rest of his face with that poor camera. I'm very sorry about that.
Do the thing. Yes, I'm gonna take that. Exactly like this.
Dr. Cyclonisman. Or as we know you around here, Bob.
Really tempting, but the fact that you have hand pokes means sideboard cards in my opening hand isn't a good thing.
Got some Eldrazi Tron from Julian in here, Bob. I know, isn't it great? Emrakul. Oh yeah, Emrakul. Bring some Emrakul-aid to the party. Jump through walls, making a scene.
Sorry, you were the one who just did. Phantom tap.
I'll take two. Part of the mind games. I'm sure. This is how you're winning. He's getting in my head.
Hello, Bo. Young Bo got his tooth pulled today.
Love that. Just kidding.
Got a little molar, I guess. Not exactly sure, but he showed me the tooth, and it was quite the tooth. Hello, Bo.
Don't be mean to it. It was a special.
Yeah, I'll leave it there. Okay.
Looks like they're both keeping on 6. Julian goes second, so Phil starts with something else. Phil, just with a tap land, says go. Julian with Tron piece number 1. Philip with a fetch land. Probably searching up a green source of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel your pain.
How are you doing, by the way? Trent? I don't know. I don't have any opinion, for I haven't caught up with it. I apologize. I probably should. But I did hear about it. I saw that there's like this big, huge mural that has like 36 planeswalkers on it. It seems pretty neat, but I have not followed the lore. Wow, I can speak. So I don't know. It's gonna change a lot of the outcome would change the future of Magic, though. How are you doing, Trent? There's a book? See, this is how I don't even know. You guys discuss this amongst yourselves. Because I didn't even know that there was a book in April coming out. My goodness. So looks like Phil took the Ratchet Bomb from Julian's hand. Seems pretty good when your biggest creature is only 1 Grand Mana cost 1. Oh. So is it just the current Ravnica story, or is it like all of Ravnica, or I guess it would just be the current one, wouldn't it? And so do they extend on it too, or is it just going to be like from the... Well, I guess, yeah, do they extend on the Ravnica story then? I miss the days when a set came out and it just came with a book. Oh, all of Ravnica. Interesting. Julian with the... Goodness, can't think of the name, but the 5/5 Haster Trampler pseudo hexproof. Oh, nice. Huh. Again, didn't know that, but that is very cool. Thank you, Reality Smasher. Jeez. It doesn't even have Eldrazi in the name. Reality Smasher, smashing the reality for 5. 5 mana, 5/5 Haster. I suppose trying to read like almost a novel on your phone is never that easy. I'm kind of old school and would just rather have the paper in my hand. Though I don't read much books because I'm lazy, but either way, it's easier to read an actual book than it is off especially like a phone screen. So Phil passed one. It looks like he was going to Assassin's Trophy the other, but then realized he had to discard a card I don't believe he has enough cards in hand now to Assassin's Trophy, the Reality Smasher. Reality Smasher. Reality Smash.
Hashtag worth.
Kind of bad timing to draw the Maelstrom Pulse now, but definitely would have rather had it last turn. But Julian now plays a walker for, or not a planeswalker, but you know, a walking ballista for 3, and Phil can't do anything about it. Thank you for joining everybody in in chat, including Trent and Bob and Kyle and anybody else that is watching, including Trent. I appreciate it. See if I can get another match moved. I agree, Cyclonus, that Eldrazi Tron is a house. I was saying how it kind of fell out of favor. It's a good deck sometimes. You just sometimes have those bad draws, though, where it's like, why am I even playing this junk? But I'm going to go see if I can get a match moved. Not a Trent moved, but a match for Trent and Bob and Kyle, my 3 favorite people. Oh, 4 favorite people. Hello, Bo. Hello, Bo. Bo Brostrom. Bowen Brostrom. Bowen. Middle name Brostrom. You're a good kid. Eat your broccoli. Boo. Ha, scare ya? Hope I didn't, because I hate when people do that to me. So we're still in round 2. This is game 3. Against got Aaron with 4 color Death Shadow versus Alex with black-white tokens. You each won a game. Forgot to mention this is a pizza round. Don't know how I forgot. But they have your favorite Bob of barbecue, mac and cheese, chicken stuff. Looks like they're trading thought seizes or inquisitions.
Have you won a match yet?
Chapel. Spellbound.
Alex with a nice spellbomb. Knee-high spellbomb. Nile spellbomb.
Step. Falkner person targeting.
What? Yeah, exactly, right? Like, what is this? The only 2 decks that are playing this?
Don't know the name of the card, but it exiles a card from a graveyard, and then if it's a 1/1 spirit token into play.
I can open a season books, but I get non-favored matchups.
Jack Townsville.
Proud of you.
Followed by probably Sound the Alarm, or... Man, you know what? I don't know what half these are, but he has tokens. And that's the point of his deck. Is make token creatures. Aaron able to peel away that last card from Alex. He has no threats on the board yet. And he still doesn't. Now he's going to cycle that Spellbomb. Exiles Aaron's graveyard and draws a card. Attack for 4. And down to 8. And Spectral Possession or Triplicate Spirits. Excuse me. Either way, he gets 3 1/1 Spirit tokens. It's probably Spectral Possession. Well, Triplicate Spirits makes sense because he makes triple spirits. What in the world do I know? Which is not a lot. Oh, Aaron just couldn't get it, and Alex gets it. Looks like in 3. Well, that was a fun game. Looking at cards you don't know and trying to figure it out by looking at it, and being a big dummy like me can't figure it out. That was a good time. Thank you everybody for watching. If this is YouTube or Twitch right now, appreciate everybody viewing. It helps us out. You know what? It's just a good time. Watching Magic. I enjoy watching Magic. I enjoy commentating Magic. But, we'll be back for round number 3 if I don't misclick the computer. See you soon. Hello, welcome back. It's been a while. We're at round number 3 of Heroes Welcome Magic the Gathering F&M. Kyle Falkner playing his Dead Girl Ale, the black-white good cards deck, and Noah Miller playing Humans, the 5-color good cards deck. Looks like Kyle is taking a mulligan down to 6. Noah decides that his 7 is just good enough.
They are looking for a new singer. Heck yeah. I can go a few outtakes up. Hey, you're not Simon Cowell.
It's been a while since we watched Magic. No, it's been like 5 minutes or so.
Okay, good. Okay. Alright, I'll keep this.
Unfortunate.
Yep. Do I want
Looks like Kyle's keeping his 6. Takes his scry to the bottom.
Alright, we're good.
Off we go into the Wild Blue Yonder. Looks like Noah starts off with an Aether Vial. One of the Expedition, whatever name for the artifact special cards are. Inventions.
What? Well, not these ones. Yeah.
So he's going to start off.
Put that in.
With Champion of the Parish, followed by a Thalia. And Kyle may have a response to the Guardian of Thraben. Respond with a Path to Exile on the Champion. Oh. Is that a Sculler? A Tidehauler Sculler.
It is.
From Kyle Falkner. Looks like he's taking a Values Lieutenant. You know, when he enters the battlefield, they reveal their hand and you choose that card and you exile it. It's any non-land card. Yeah, and then when the Scholar leaves play, they get that card back into their hand. Noah plays Noble Hierarch and attacks for 3 with Thalia. Oh no, we got an upkeep. With his own version of the Tidehauler Scholar. And a Kitesteel Freebooter. Obviously it's a little different. This can only take instants or sorceries. But it's basically the same card. Very similar. Though Kitesteel Freebooter is a human. And the Scholar is a zombie. So it used to be human. Gal gets a swing in for 2. He's not going to block with it. And he plays his own human in Dark Confidant. A good thing Bob isn't here, because he would complain that is not the Bob Maher card. And so that is actually not Bob. That is just Dark Confidant. Attack for 3 again with the 3/2 first striker. Kyle reveals a Path to Exile from the Dark Confidant.
Combat. I'm obliged to block.
I'm going to attack for 4. See if no one wants to trade off the Kitesoul Freebooter for the Dark Confidant, though we'll give him that Thoughtseize back. Looks like he's just going to take the 4 damage down to 14. Kyle follows up with another Tidehollow Scholar. Tidehollow Scholar. No, with a response.
You got me. I will take the Thalia.
Though, it was just a bluff. As it just shows he has another Thalia and a land in hand. And draws another land. Well, hello, other Kyle. Thank you for joining us. We are in you're in the midst of a heated battle against Dead Girl Ale versus humans. Kind of alive versus dead, I guess.
Good God.
Dark Confidant reveals a Dark Confidant. Kyle's down to 5. It is pretty great, isn't it? Just like black, white, good stuff. Kyle's down to 5 life. He's like, second Dark Confidant, go. Noah does draw a Reflector Mage. If I did deck techs, then you would. Not a lot of room in here, but maybe after this game I can have Kyle come in here and explain the deck. Actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea. What do you think, Kyle, who can hear me right now? Do you want me to bring other Kyle in here after this game and have him explain his deck? Because that'd be interesting. Will do, my friend, will do. Just for you. Being our longest faithful viewer. That's actually not a bad idea. Thank you, Kyle, for being the person we test that should be in here, not me. But, anywho, Falkner is down to 2 with 2 Dark Confidants to play. Now, we saw in game 1, he was at 2 life with 2 Dark Confidants. And he drew Thoughtseize. This has to be a land. Oh, it's the Kaya. It's the Kaya. So Noah's sneaking that one. I suppose it makes sense. The Dark Confidants are humans. They're working on the human side. Brent's deck of the week? Oh boy. I suppose. I'm about to figure out what my deck of the week is. Probably should play more Magic. You know what? I enjoy this. Plus, the next 2 days we're going to be buried in snow, so we can't do anything anyway, so I'll enjoy this while we can. So we're supposed to have regionals in Minnesota tomorrow. Apparently they canceled it because of the snow. I'm shocked, but that's how much snow we're supposed to get. Gosh, I'm so sick of the snow. It was originally supposed to rain tomorrow, which is pretty hilarious, but I guess that's just been side graded to just more snow. Kappa indeed, my friend. Kappa indeed.
Because there's so much graveyard decks right now, it's the best I've ever.
Or should I say, crappa snow? No, when Game of Thrones said winter is coming, I didn't think they were saying 2019.
Some of them I picked up when they were $5 still. It's like, the other ones I got when they were 30s.
Speaking of Game of Thrones, apparently it's the last season. I've watched season 1. As far as I got. Apparently it's really good. Bob was here, he'd say, that's a good show. I say, it probably is. But they killed off the king guy. And I was like, I'm done. Spoilers, I'm sorry for anybody who hasn't watched the first season. But people die in that show, and it's sad. Brent Stark. Now, I know you were talking about Game of Thrones Stark, but then my mind went to, like, to Iron Man for Tony Stark, and then I was just imagining how, like, an Iron Man fat suit would look like, and that just kind of ruined everything. I don't know if I can look at Iron Man the same again. I am Iron Deficiency Man. Noah's keeping 6. Scry to the top. Off we go. Kyle, boom. Pushes that noble hierarch down the well. Boom. He's gonna Thoughtseize. He's gonna take his brain and just destroy it and just take any sort of spell he had. Noah's going to be like, I don't remember that spell. Because Kyle's like, I seized it from your thoughts. Is that an Auriok? I think that's an Auriok champion. But Kyle takes the Thalia. Kyle must have a spell-rich hand. But again, we saw that this first strike on Thalia is such a little thing, but it's such a great thing at the same time. Now he's going to play that Auriok champion. Ayla? Is it the Ayla? Oh, that's Liliana the Veil. I mean, it's just probably better than the Aya at this point. Kayla, Cake, whatever. You know, I showed it game 1. Anybody who's been here, Kyle, should know what that was. What I was talking about. Because who knows what I'm talking about. So Noah plays the Kitesail Freebooter. Looks like he takes a Lingering Souls. Noah plays a Noble Hierarch, passes the turn. Looks like Kyle with the Tideholder Scholar, taking the Reflector Mage. They decided not to plus the Liliana. Means that last card in his hand must be pretty good. Well, maybe even if it's not good, either way, no could kill it this turn. So maybe he just figures the card is more important than getting rid of the card in Noah's hand. Oh, with a Thalia's Lieutenant. Yeah, Kyle with his main deck, Leyline of the Void. I think Noah exiled his graveyard, but he doesn't need to. However, his Humans deck does not use its graveyard at all. Oh, Ben Stark was his name. That's why you said Brent Stark, because it's kind of the same. I get it. Boy. I am a rock star. So Noah, with double Aether Vial on turn 7, doesn't seem that good when he has no cards in hand. Yeah, I'm not sure why he still had the Leyline in his deck. Seems like a rather weird choice. But, yeah, especially with Bob's in the main deck. Yeah, I don't know why it's in the deck pre-sideboard, but it could be. I know he has one main deck, and so it could be when they were sideboarding, he just overlooked it. I know I've definitely done that a few times when I've mulliganed. So Reflector Mage on the Tidehouler Scholar. So Noah gets his Reflector Mage back, and Kyle cannot play that Tidehouler Scholar. Well, that's just awkward. Alright. So he has at least 2 in the deck, so I don't know why they're in the deck, but they're still there. So it looks like Noah gets it in 2. I'll bring Kyle in here. See, maybe ask him about his choices. Probably won't, but oh, pizza. But bring him in here. Deck tech. And yeah, we'll have him explain his deck. I'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Back, we had Kyle Falkner here, who's playing the Dead Girl Ale, as he calls it. I was calling it the black-white good stuff. It's basically what it is, and he's organized his deck. He'll show us what it's all about and his thinking and all that.
All right, so when the new Ravnica set came out, they revealed Kyle. And I looked at her and I said, she's very good. She has a lot of versatility in the first two forms, first two abilities. First one is tick up, exile a creature card, or exile a card from a graveyard. If it is a creature, you gain 2 life. Very good in meta with, Arc like Phoenix, Dredge running around everywhere, all that kind of stuff. Her -1, exile target non-land permanent with CMC 1 or less. Very good against the humans matchup, which I was looking for against Vile, looking against the Noble Hierarch, any other one of humans, that kind of stuff. But I saw her ultimate, which is Kaya Orzhov Super deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards in that player owns in exile. You gain that much life. So I've played Legacy before, and one of the decks I used to play was Dead Guy Ale, which was the combo of Lay on the Void and Helm of Obedience. And so when I saw this, I'm like, I can probably make something similar to it. Obviously, it's going to be modern. It's not as powerful, but it's still going to be good, hopefully. So I started with a basic, black-white mid-range shell. Thoughtseize, Inquisition, Path, Push, just all the good black-white stuff. And a lot of it just puts cards in graveyards naturally. So the thought is, if I get, Lay on the Void out turn 0, everything I do, everything that happens throughout the game slowly builds this ultimate going off. And throughout most of the games I've played today, about 10 cards or more in the graveyard by the time Kyle would have go off with their ultimate. So that's a 20-point life swing in a deck where I chip away at their hand, chip away at their creatures, and then eventually try and chip in with Bobs and Tidal Colors.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is just 4-ups. So obviously I have 4 Lay on the Void main board. I kind of need that card. It's the reason why I had this deck.
It's kind of the crux of the deck, as you're saying, is like a pseudo combo,
right?
With the Leyline and the Kaya ultimate. Because by the time you play her, like you're saying, they have 10 cards. That's 10 damage right there. Plus with people fetching or the incidental damage with Bobs and Tidal Scholar, is usually can get there with their ultimate.
Yeah. So 4 of those, and then 3 Kaya. I wasn't too sure how good she would actually be, so I kind of didn't go for the full 4. And I have the full 4 of Thoughtseize. I have full 4 Inquisition of Kozilek's, just good cards to pick away at their hand, make sure that my stuff doesn't get touched. 4 Push, 4 Path, 4 Fatal Push, 4 Path to Exile. Fantastic removal spells. Gonna want them for any creature decks, any sort of nonsense that they want, any sort of creatures they want to try and attack me with. Get rid of them. I have the 4 Dark Confidant. It's Dark Confidant's fallen off in the past few months.
Oh yeah.
But I really needed something to help try and push an advantage I would get with all my discard, with all my removal.
Sure, yeah.
And Bob's kind of the best option.
With those colors, it's always kind of hard once you have no cards in hand to keep going.
Right.
So Bob is definitely a good card to help bring you back in the game.
Yes. And then I have 4 Tidal Color, which also counts towards Kyle.
Right. Yeah.
So I take a card, all of a sudden it's another 1/2 the Kyle ultimate, and it's
an extra damage.
It's a 2/2. It's a bear. It's fine. Then I have, let's see here, what else do I have? I have Lingering Souls, because that card's just good.
Because that's just a good card. That's just a good card, exactly.
3 Liliana of the Veil. Liliana's expensive.
Yes.
So
yes,
we're only going to play 3 of those.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense.
2 Bit of Blossom.
Main deck?
Main deck, yeah. 2 Bit of Blossom main deck. It's again something I want to try and close the game out with.
Sure.
Again, if I find it, turn 6, turn 7, it's not great. But if I play in the first few turns, it's fine. It's a good finisher. I believe that's all main board. Yeah, that should be everything main board.
Okay.
So yeah, it's mostly just trying to be a consistent mid-range deck.
Sure.
With a giant silver bullet main board for a lot of these Dredge and a lot of Arc Light Phoenix running around.
Any thoughts of Liliana the Last Hope?
Didn't have her. Don't have her.
Well, that's a good enough reason. That's good enough reason.
I would definitely, if I had access to a Liliana Last Hope, I would put her on the sideboard.
Sure.
She's very good against a handful of matchups, elves, humans, if she is able to stick around without too much nonsense, or without too much interference from Dahlia's Lieutenant, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, Liliana would be a good choice to have.
Yeah. Okay.
And for the sideboard, there were 15 black and white cards that I had laying around.
All right.
Kind of threw them in because they were good sideboard cards. We can actually go through some of the choices that I made. To note, I would play Gideon Ally of Zendikar because that card is very good. Mm-hmm. Just as a good finisher against control decks, play the kind of thing, and 2, and then make 2, and then make 2, and then make 2.
Yeah, and just
carry on.
Yeah, just keep making the creatures, definitely.
So I have 2 Stony Silence sideboard, as you pretty much kind of need nowadays.
When you're playing white, it's kind of Stony Silence is kind of always in the sideboard.
Yeah, it's just the best thing you can do against artifact decks.
Exactly.
One of the best. I shouldn't say the best.
Sure, yeah.
I shouldn't say the best. I have 3 Leyline of Sanctity, just to try and play as many things on turn 0.
Sure.
It's again, I don't want my things disrupted, so good against other mid-range decks. I want to try and strip my hand. Good against Burn, obviously.
Absolutely.
Burn's kind of a iffy matchup. If I don't stick Kaya, I'm slowly killing myself a lot.
Yeah.
So being able to keep them off of me would be fantastic for Leyline of Sanctity. 2 more Relic of Genetist. Just more graveyard hate.
Sure.
Just in case I don't get Leyline's turn 1, it's just something I can play, make sure that they don't do their thing for their graveyard as much as possible. 2 Core Firewalker. Again, a little more mono burn or burn hate. It's just a 2/2 for 2, and
well, I mean, it seems like your deck kind of does.
It deals a lot of damage
to itself.
It does a lot of damage to itself.
And so, yeah, especially it seems like Burn would be a terrible matchup. So having the Core Firewalker, I mean, to at least hedge yourself a little bit against Burn, definitely seems like it would help a bit.
Yeah, most definitely. I have 3 Disenchant, just a good effect to have.
Sure.
I was thinking about Fragmentize, but it's not instant speed.
Yeah.
I kind of like my spells to have instant speed. I guess that's just personal preference. If you play Fragmentize, that's perfectly fine. 1 Blessed Alliance. I know there have been a few through the reach decks around here. Even some infect, like pile on 1 creature, swing in. You're gonna sacrifice that creature now.
Yeah, I noticed there was like a mono green infect deck here.
Yes.
That one of the games I won on game 2 or on turn 2.
Yeah.
So having something that you can just easily get rid of. Yeah, 1 big creature is definitely a big hedge.
Yep.
Plus, it's another anti-burn card.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. And then I have 2 more Engineer Explosives in the board because it's just a good card to have. Again, it doesn't hit 3 drops anymore, which is slightly problematic.
Sure.
But it'll hit when it needs to hit.
Exactly. Okay, well, thank you, Kyle. It's a very interesting deck. I said it's mostly the black-white good cards, but the interesting combo of the Kaya and Lily. Have you been able to?
I have not.
Okay.
These are the only 6 games I have played with it in actual tournament form.
Okay.
So it is a very new deck for me.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely.
So I haven't had that many years with it. Like I haven't even been able to play it on Moto yet.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it. It's just a black-white mid-range deck.
Okay.
This is all it is, but they make you little.
The cute little combo. Yeah, definitely.
Yep. All right.
Well, thank you very much. I'm sure. Well, yeah. We see. Cyclones, that's Bob, actually.
There you go.
He's a big fan of the deck tech idea. Oh, the deck tech idea. Well, I'm going to just say he was a big fan of the deck. We'll ignore the last part.
All right, fine.
And then this guy,
thanks, Bob,
who gave a bunch of hearts.
There you go.
So, that is Eternal Misery 666. Though I call him Kyle because Eternal Misery is too sad.
Fair enough.
Also, his name is Kyle, so
there you go.
Kyle me Kyle. So, yeah, I like this deck idea, too, and see if Kyle hype. So, but yeah, thank you very much for playing an interesting deck, and I don't know. This is the part where I usually
hopefully round 4 goes better.
Yeah. What are you? 1 and
2-1.
2-1 right now. Okay.
2-1.
Yeah. So, that was your first loss then.
Yes.
Was okay. Well.
Yes.
I do like the game one where the very first game where you're at 1 or 2 life.
Yep.
You have 2 bobs out and you're just
Yeah.
like, well, let's just see what happens.
Yep.
You go down to 1 and you're like, yes, that
Yep.
was great. So so we'll be back for round number 4 very shortly, and so good luck, Kyle.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hello. We are back for round number 4. Julian Curtis with his Eldrazi Tron. He's 3-0. No Miller with humans. He's 3-0, but that doesn't. When is he not 3-0 with humans? Not that often. Though he did play against a mono green infect deck. I think he said round 2. And game 1, he lost turn 2. There's not much he can do about that, but he was able to win games 2 and 3 against the mono green infect deck. And Julian Curtis is not a black and white deck. Oh, there is a colorless border. Why am I a silly man? Oh. Wow. Alright. Julian with turn 1, Tron land, followed by Expedition Map. Noah plays the turn 1 Aether Vial. Julian's just gonna search up Tron land number 3. He's gonna have his turn 3 Tron is where you want to be with the Eldrazi Tron deck. Noah plays Values Lieutenant.
Alright, what am I gonna see?
Let's see what Julian can do. He's 7 mana. Plays Endbringer. Seems pretty good. Too bad it doesn't have haste, because you know it needs to be better. So you can't kill off that Values Lieutenant. Let's take a look at that. You know, let's take a look at that too. It's been a while. Yep, it's 6 mana. He also had the 1 mana to play the map. Before we get to it, we see that Noah with the Phantasmal image copies the note to Endbringer, and then he Reflector Mage the Endbringer to Julian's hand. But 6 mana for a 5/5. He untaps during each player's untap step. So you can tap to do 1 damage to target creature or player. You can pay a colorless. So target creature can't attack or block this turn, or you can pay 2 colorless, tap, and you draw a card. So just use one of the 3 abilities on your turn, or attack. He is a 5/5. Then you can untap and use one of the abilities on your opponent's turn. But Noah now has his own Endbringer. But Julian with the very powerful Walking Ballista. So even though technically the image is a 5/5, it has the clause, whenever it comes target of spell or ability, sacrifice it. So all he has to do is ping it for 1 damage, and he is forced to then sacrifice the illusion, Michael. Well, Noah, who plays a Melee Mage, probably naming that Endbringer that he knows about.
Yeah, it's just they're just triggers on top of the stack now.
Julian probably going to ping the Champion of the Parish in response, and looks like that's what he chooses to do. Seems like a good call.
I really should know what I should name.
I believe Julian has 10 mana right now, so he can pump up that Walking Ballista twice. Oh boy. big attack here. Noah, Julian down to 9. See a Thought-Knot Seer, an Eldrazi Temple. So we did not name the Endbringer. Maybe All Is Dust? That'd be another good name. So then he uses 4 mana to pump up the Walking Ballista. He uses the last 2 mana to play an Eldrazi Mimic, which is another one we haven't seen in quite a while. Eldrazi Mimic is 2 mana for a 2/1. It happens to be an Eldrazi, a very small one. However, whenever another colorless creature comes into play under your control, you can change the base power and toughness of Eldrazi Mimic to that creature's power or toughness. So all your Eldrazi's, or 4/4s, 5/5s, making that Eldrazi Mimic into a big creature for only 2 mana, can play a turn 1 with the Eldrazi Temples, so that's pretty good. Right there, he was only used to chump block, but so he plays a Thought-Knot Seer, reveals Athalia. She gets exiled. Looks like he's going to use the draw card ability off of the Endbringer. Then scoop up his cards. So humans takes game number 1. Looks like those tiny humans were able to conquer those large Eldrazi. At least game 1. Ooh. No, I saw that Damping Sphere. That's cold. Good old wet ball.
Cannot be played by a black player. Oh no. That's so bad. That's so accurate.
So yeah, I really like that tech idea. Again, Kyle, thank you. Might try to do some more in the future. We'll see. Because it was really fun hearing about his deck and hearing what was in it. I didn't even know about the Bitter Blossoms. That was, kind of out of left field, but he runs 2 Bitter Blossom. It's just kind of another finisher. But yeah, it was mostly a homebrew of black-white good cards. And cards I own, for the most part, is what it sounded like. Which happened to be a lot of good cards. Because, yeah, usually, like we saw the round 1 where he called it blue-red net deck. It was basically Phoenix deck, which is, a net deck. So I don't see a lot of brews nowadays. Looks like they're still shuffling. Okay. See if the humans can take it or if the Eldrazi menace will come back again. Like, Noah's taking a mulligan. I only see a couple lands in Julian's hand. See if that's... He has 3 lands, I think. Looks like Julian's keeping. Noah. Looks like he's keeping his 6. Start out with Tron piece numero uno. Noah with a champion of the parish. Julian with Tron piece number 2, followed by Mind Stone. Noah with the Meddling Mage. Again, unable to hear what he named, but wouldn't surprise me if it's all his dust. Seems like it's just stop the one-sided sweeper from happening. So got a Walking Ballista for 2. Ooh. Noah. Plays a Mantis Rider. Julian kills the champion, but Noah still swings for 5. Speaking of 5, is this the Smasher of Realities? Oh, there goes Gravity. Oh, there goes Gravity. Now, the question is, it's tough. Just leave him back to block. You never want to be in that position with Reality Smasher. Never want to be in that position with Reality Smasher. I think Noah has another Mantis Rider in hand, though. Oh.
Would you like to counter a card? Or discard a card? It's a counter to spell.
Now they're seeing if Reflector Mage, if he has to discard a card, and I don't believe so. When it becomes a target of a spell of an opponent controls, and even though it's a cast trigger, it is an ability off the Reflector Mage. Third? Well, oh, that was just the second Mantis Rider, that's right. All is dust?
Do you not have it again?
Well, it's a little disappointing way of having it.
Oblivion Stone. Alright. We're still in this. We're still in this.
What do I draw? Is it all non-land permanents?
Sack Oblivion Stone.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He gets a couple triggers. Dismember, that does nothing. The land, he can put it into play.
You come back from this now? Oh, shit. I did have something else.
Ooh, I see.
Hey now. That math is not allowed here.
Not Thopter Foundry. What am I thinking? That guy. The OG Walking Ballista.
Yeah, me not playing that card last turn is going to lose me the game. Champion?
He does. He plays the Kaisil Freebooter.
No.
Thank you, Hangerback Walker. Thinking Thopter Foundry is like, that doesn't seem right.
Yep.
Drew the All is Dust. But I do believe Noah has perfect information, has a Mantis Rider in hand.
Lost the game because I did that.
So this is an attack for 11.
Oh, wait. No, I'm fine. 11? I'm at 9.
Down to 9.
Yeah, you're actually...
Could be wrong, but yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure there's a Mantis Rider in hand. And Julian does have the Dismember, but not the 4 life to take care of that Mantis Rider. Holy smokes, that was a game. That was a good game. That was a good game. That was a good game. Why is this still peeking through? I don't want it to. Story of my life. So, that was it for tonight. Go home and cry, then shovel 24 feet of snow. I don't want to do it. So, but thank you. It has nothing to do with Magic, so if we go back to Magic, Magic the Gathering is a great card game. Standard is great. Modern is great. Yes, you heard me. Feet. Okay, so maybe it's not actually feet, but sure feels like it. It's only going to be 12 inches, but that's still feet. 3 feet. God, that's a lot of snow. So anyways, Magic the Gathering. We have snow-colored plains, snow-covered plains. That's what we have here. All of the swamp, we don't have mountains, but we have trees, so the forests are snow-covered. They're basically living in Ice Age. So, thank you, Kyle, for being a faithful viewer. Thank you, Bob, for watching and not being able to come, but at least you watched. Thank you, Trent, for joining us when he did. And any other person that was watching, appreciate it. Appreciate all of you. So hopefully I'll be back next week. We'll see. But thank you for watching. Have a good weekend, week, and night, and tomorrow night, and every other night. Good night.